Hello, so in this video I'm going to be demonstrating one of these, and this is a DKP-50 Dosimeter pen, or Dosimeter pen, whatever you want to call it. And these were the Polish People's Army, so Communist Poland's version of the Soviet. I think they called theirs DKP-50A, but it's essentially exactly the same thing. It's just got essentially the English alphabet in it rather than the Cyrillic alphabet, or the Latin alphabet, whatever you want to call it. So it's a very simply constructed thing. Obviously, if you pulled it all apart with tweezers, you'd find it be a bit more complex than just being literally a pen. But for what we're going to look at in this video, this is quite a simple piece of equipment. Now, unfortunately, this might be one of those videos where you can't see a lot on the camera, although I'm going to try my best with this because of how it works optic-wise. So, what you have from the outside, you have your viewing window at this end. You have a sort of pen kind of pocket clip, because the idea is that you just have it on basically a jacket or something so you can easily get at it. You've got your assumed stainless steel tube, or maybe it's an aluminium tube, and then at the end you have a cap that covers the basically charging point, so you can't accidentally discharge it, so that's just there to protect the cap. Obviously, if you wanted to, you can take the cap off. It's even got a little washer on there, and then you could press that in and discharge the pen. But the idea of having this cap on is so you can't accidentally ruin your reading in the field. So how this works, you look through the viewing window, and I'm going to have to put this up to the light. Basically, you look through this while you've got the dosimeter pointing at a light, and you can see a little, I believe it's quartz fibre, that moves as this becomes irradiated, because there's an ionizing chamber in here. Now this only works with gamma and X-rays, because obviously alpha and beta can't get into it. But what I'll do now is I'm going to turn the camera off, point the camera at the light, and see if I can angle this between the camera lenses and the light so you can actually see the reading. Right, I'm afraid this doesn't look all that clear on the camera, but what you should hopefully be able to see there to an extent is basically the optic in there. So there we go, that looks better, if I can get that angle back again. And unfortunately it seems with cameras you can never demonstrate these well. But basically what you've got in there is a bar where the quartz fibre crystal moves to the right on the Roentgen counter as it gets more and more irradiated. As said, I don't think this really tends to show up on camera very well. But you can believe me when I say it's there. So anyway, what I'm going to show you how to do now, if we look through it, I've had it in my bag of radioactive materials, you can see that the device is at 2 Roentgen. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to show you how you would reset one of these using a Soviet or Polish DP-66 Geiger counter. So here's a Polish DP-66 Geiger counter, and you'll notice it actually says DKP-50 there. So this is the charging port for the DKP-50 dosimeters. So how you work this is first you unscrew this, and then that exposes the charging point in there. Then what you do is obviously unscrew this bit as well, which is the top bit. Now, I don't actually know, can you re-screw this bit into this bit, or are they a different thread? I was just wondering if you could do that to keep it safe while you did it. No, I think they're a different thread. Doesn't matter, just pop it there. So, right, now we put the Geiger counter onto the lowest setting, 0.5 milliroentgen per hour. So what that is I think there's 1,000 milliroentgens in a Roentgen. So this isn't even a full reading. As you can see, the needle was moving around a little bit anyway on the Geiger. So now what we do is we push that into here. Now this isn't going to be clear on camera, as said, sadly, but if I look down here now, I can actually see the Roentgen counter, and it's illuminated through the Geiger counter. So what I have here, I'll just take this off there, is an adjustable wheel. Now the camera's at a bad angle where you can't really see that, but this is the zeroing wheel. So what you essentially do, turning it left moves the quartz fibre left, moving it right, turning it right moves the quartz fibre right. So what we're going to do is look down here and then use this to zero it. So what we need to do is push the pen firmly down and it begins charging. So basically you just see the needle slowly going to the right. So I'm just going to hold it down for a few seconds to make sure it definitely gets a good charge. And then what I'm going to do is ever so slowly turn the dial to the left, It's on about 0 Roentgen. Right, now I'm just going to hold it up to the light to check it. And yep, I've got it almost perfectly on 0 Roentgen. It's just slightly over 0 Roentgen. Now, what I don't know of this is if I put this back into here, is it possible to actually get the camera to look down that while that's there? I'm just going to quickly test that. Right, it looks like you can just about see something down there. Again, this is really not ideal because they never invented these for you to be able to focus a camera down them. But you can see the light down there, and I was able to get this in a position just then where you could just about see it saying Roentgen very zoomed in. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to show you that again. But just seeing if I could zoom in on that a bit more. But there we go. You can see Roentgens there in this kind of weird sort of thing. But yeah, there you go. Just so you can see, and you should be able to see the quartz fibre on the left somewhere. Yeah, there you go. See up through the 0. There's the quartz fibre. But yeah, what would happen is as you get irradiated with gamma or X-rays, that needle would move to the right and it maxes out at 50 Roentgen on here. And imagine 50 Roentgens are pretty much a lethal dose for most people. There you go, DKP-50, and then you can see it saying Roentgen. So this is the very simple Polish People's Army little dosimeter pen. As said, this literally just works by holding it up to the light and looking through it, and that tells you how many Roentgens of radiation you've absorbed from gamma and X-ray sources. So yeah, pretty fascinating stuff. Very, very simple, but it's that kind of really old simple technology I like. It's just got an ionizing chamber in there and you hold it up to the light to see your dose. Loads of other countries made similar things to this. There are US, like American civil defense ones from the 50s that did this. Lots of power plants made things like this for their workers. So you can find these kind of things from every country. B-Store sells these and the DP-66s, which you can use on them, but there's also other sellers on eBay that have them as well. I haven't really looked around to see who's got competitive prices on these, but again, I'll just flick the Geiger off. You know, make sure you shop around and find a good deal. But there you go. The dosimeter pens themselves, though, you can normally buy for like £5 or £6. Just be aware that if you discharge it and you've not got a DP-66 or anything to charge it with, it will be useless. You need something which can actually charge it. But I'm sure if you look around on eBay, you can find a charger that isn't a full-on Geiger counter for a fairly decent price. There you go. Thanks, everybody. This is a video on the DP-66 and the DKP-50 Dosimeter pen. Also, thanks to, I think it was Daniel, who gave me some info on how to zero these properly, because I really didn't have a clue until he left some really nice comments on a live stream. So thanks to him. Make sure you comment on this video and then I'll favourite your comment. Anyway, thank you.